We have a very busy week ahead. What I'm going to do for these first few minutes as you guys are checking in, when you guys are checking in, hit the thumbs up. Let me know where you're tapping in from. Let me know how your weekend went. Let me know about your wins. Let me know about your losses. And I'm going to stay live for about an hour. A quick rundown for today and then the week. I'm going to go live one more time today. I'm going to be uploading my breakdown Stats Don't Lie video of Christian and Billy versus Lester Martinez today. So make sure you hit the bell notification button. Our Discord is popping. Make sure you join Johnny Says Boxing Insiders, our VIP group. It's only a couple dollars a month. You get more access on the channel, but you get to become access member to the Discord. That link is pinned in the thread here. So I was away this weekend. I was gone for 2 days, little staycation within the city of Sydney with my girlfriend. And I wasn't as active. You know, I didn't do any lives on Saturday, didn't do any live streams on Sunday. And it was actually good for me. I was able to detach slightly. Didn't get to detach 100% because I still had to kind of, you know, see how the Discord was going. I had to manage it a little bit of moderation, you know what I'm saying? And what else? The week was wild. We had a wild week. It ended on a high. That's all I want. You know, going into the last fight, the Sugar Nunes fight, man, I was in a, you know, it wasn't like it was the worst betting week, but we're used to winning a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so the rundown real quick from my bets, starting with, because in the Discord, we have our MMA thread, UFC thread. We have obviously our go-to, our bread and butter, our boxing. But I also put football in there, American football. So Dana White Contender Series, going into Dana White Contender Series, we were 10 for the last 10. I missed one fight, went 4 for 5 on the long parlay, but hit a 2-leg method of victory. So we lost one, but then we won one, right? And then the Ostley Iglesias, we obviously got that right. You know, a lot of us knew that was going to happen. So I hit the money line. I hit a little parlay on that. But then I kind of risked a little bit. I think plus 450 for the fight to go the distance. And obviously Iglesias stopped, you know, won by stoppage before the fight went to the distance. Now, that Pro Box card, I mean, a lot of people got burned on the long parlay with Jordan White. So on my Moneyline long parlay, which I give to everybody on YouTube, on Instagram, in the Discord, all of them hit except Jordan White and Mark Dickinson. I do want to reiterate, the longer you guys are on my channel, the more you know. I do that long parlay. It's entertainment. It's a fun one. 10, 12 legs. Sometimes there's 15 legs. I never bet heavy. I'll never bet more than like 50 bucks on that. So when that doesn't hit, it's not the end of the world. It's just more kind of like an ego thing. I love when those hit because when a 12-legger hits, you look like, you know, it looks great. So I was getting messages a lot. Shout out to Mike TV, because Mike TV hit on, I think, the Pro Box card, and he posted in our Discord, and I told him, I was like, look, mate, I was like, you got to know, you know, some of the best, smartest gamblers I know are the ones who know when to get out. You know, timing is everything with betting on boxing and betting on sports. Don't chase your L's and always cash out your victories. You know what I'm saying? The last thing you want to do, what happens with a lot of people who bet is they think that they could win every single bet. Obviously, you're not going to bet on anything thinking you're going to lose. So you need to create boundaries around your systems when you win. When you win, cash your wins. I always tell people that. Cash out your wins and never chase your losses. So after that sort of Jordan White debacle, that belt to ass, shout out to Giron Tellez. Add the Tellez name to the list of don't bet, because that's 2 weeks in a row. 2 separate fighters with the name Tellez connected to him has screwed so many people's parlays. So you can just add that name Tellez to your no bet list. But going into yesterday, we had the Sugar Nunes fight, and that's when I made all my money. And that's the first bet I gave you guys early last week. I put it on YouTube. I put it in the Discord. I said, this is the steal of the week. This is the prop of the week. I gave you my Stats Don't Lie breakdown video of it. You could watch the breakdown. I told you that Chris Diaz was tough as nails. I told you to watch his tape. I said that he was getting disrespected. I told you guys he had only been stopped once against Navarrete. I didn't say he was going to win. I just said that, when you look at Diaz's resume versus Sugar Nunez's resume, I mean, there's better names on Diaz's resume. I mean, that's nothing. And then also I told you about why the odds makers look at the knockout to win ratio. But when you look at Sugar, the names that he was starching and how he goes about his business, Nunez doesn't have one punch knockout power. And Chris Diaz is a dog. So anyway, don't want to talk about our wins too long. I don't like talking about our losses too long. What have you done for me lately? We turn the page. But I hit huge on that prop. I told you over 6.5. We got it at 2-1 money. So I went heavy on that prop. That made my whole week. Also, I went heavy on Nunez by decision. So that's another one. I got that at 800, which is insane. I didn't go as heavy on that than I did as the over 6.5. But it was a great weekend for me. And, when it comes down to how much you put money on what, just so you know, I have to tell you guys this every couple weeks. I always go heavier on the prop, maybe like a single prop or a double parlay, or rather than a long parlay. I never go heavy on the long. And moving forward, don't chase your losses, man. I heard one of the boys on YouTube, he was putting money on this awful domestic British card today. And I woke up this morning and I was looking at the results, and I think Tom Whalen was $1.08 and he got starched. And I was like, dude, don't bet on these fights, man. What are you guys doing? So like, who else? There was a Zach. You guys were betting on Zachary Fee. Like, what are we doing here? Josh Babb versus Harvey Smith. I don't, if you won money on that card, shout out to you guys. But mate, don't chase your losses. Cash out your wins. And I'm gonna put a bow on all of this. We got a lot going. We got a lot moving forward. So there's a lot of stuff to get into. This is going to be a busy week. I'm going to get back to my normal 2 live streams a day. I'm going to be uploading Stats Don't Lie videos every day. The channel is going to be busy, so make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification button. Make sure you like this video. 7 minutes in. Let's see what the boys are doing. PJ, you win some, you lose some. Yep, Rambler, well done. You knocked it out the park this week. Well, shit. We can't always win, but hey, we're rocking and rolling. Dwayne Styles, salute Johnny. I'll leave Texas tomorrow back to VA. What do you want from Buc-ee's? Dwayne, man, I appreciate your support, brother. You can't really send me steaks, can you? You can't send a ribeye from Texas to Sydney. Tom Whalen lost today. Manny Art. Yeah, guys, it's insane. Victor Vallejo, 1 minute ago. Chris Morales, morning. What's up, buddy? Victor, what's up? Welcome. Rene Tejas did his thing. Yeah, he did. Garan, he just bullied him, put belt to ass. 15 legs, bet money, man. Jordan got humbled. Jordan didn't look right, GMS. You know what? I'm not going to talk trash on Jordan because he was tough. I think it was the second round, that very first when Rene was backing Jordan up on the back foot. Nobody likes a body shot. Nobody likes getting hit in the liver. The liver is right under your right chest. But when you're not stationed, look, a liver shot sucks no matter where you are in terms of your footwork. But Jordan was exiting, and Rene caught him backing up. So not only did Rene land this gorgeous liver shot early, he landed it when Jordan didn't have his feet under him. And I don't think he was ever able to recover. And goddamn, Tejas was a tank. Adu, White, the biggest disappointment of the weekend, could not handle. Yeah, he couldn't handle that pressure, man. Not everybody can handle that pressure. You know what that tells me, Adu, about White's performance? Is that he probably doesn't spar a lot of guys who beats him up. This sounds crazy to, it's not going to sound crazy to, the boys in this group, the guys, the girls, if you spar, if you've trained before. But it might sound sort of wild to somebody who's never, been, accustomed to training with boxers, is that some guys, even at the top level, won't put themselves around guys who beat them up. You know what I'm saying? It's the old saying, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you need to change rooms. If you're the baddest dude in the room, you need to change rooms. In terms of it's more of like a leadership sort of homage. The only way to get better is to surround yourself around people better than you in whatever sort of thing you're into. So when I watch a guy like Jordan, and especially in boxing, when you see somebody who has that big of a hole in their game in terms of, because that's not, it's a skill, but it's also something that could be developed. Skills could be developed. it's an area of the fight. It's situational boxing. You know what I'm saying? So when you're a student or when you're a boxer, whether you want to become a pro or just learn the fight game, a good coach will teach you situations, whether how to fight out of a corner or how to punch moving backwards or how to punch moving forwards, that sort of thing. One of those things with Jordan, it looked to me like, when he's not handling that sort of pressure well, he probably doesn't get faced with that a lot in his training. That's kind of what I saw, but he toughed it out. You got to give it to him for toughing it out. Boxing fan in the house. Oh, dude, that call, I forgot it, dude. The call, I lost by 1 point. The NCAA, my college football parlay. God damn it, UMass versus Bryant. I was like, so my buddy played college football at UMass back in the day. I was like, surely, dude, they're gonna beat Bryant, and they lost by 1 point. But dude, those are the breaks, boys. Nothing stings worse. The thing that stung me the worst this weekend happened just now, and I don't bet on it, but the Cleveland Browns. This is why, guys, being a Cleveland Browns fan, being a Cleveland sports fan is probably the most sadistic thing any sports fan could ever do is be a lifelong Cleveland sports fan, because you're just used to losing. Our kicker, we miss an extra point and a field goal to lose to our rival, the Bengals, just awful at home to continue on our losing ways. 92-year-old Joe Flacco, like, Jesus Christ, it's tough being a Browns fan. Boxing fan, let's go. Let's go. We heating up for next week. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Cash out your wins, boys. Don't chase your losses. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to chase your loss. Dude, Gary's out of his mind, and that's a compliment. That's me complimenting G from 3D. But when I see, and I understand it, I get that mindset. He said he's going to get it back, but I'm like, bro, live to fight another day sort of thing. DJ Green in the house, what's good? Adu, kudos to Diaz. Those body shots from Nunes were reverberating around the arena, and he took them all. Yeah, something that was another highlight about Diaz versus Sugar is, I talked about this in the breakdown, is you can never underestimate the significance of Mexico versus Puerto Rico or any sort of proud nation versus proud nation in boxing, especially for a world title fight, especially when Chris had been there a couple times. When Diaz, he kind of knew this was probably going to be his last shot. He had fought for a couple world titles before, fell short, couple close decisions. What I don't think is a lot of people probably weren't expecting Diaz to kind of just be more solid than Nunes. Nunes, obviously more muscular, probably less body fat, but he's not a big dude. Sugar Nunes' frame, like when you look at his shoulders, if you put Sugar up against a blank wall by himself, he looks big, right? But when you put Sugar next to other guys at 130, he's only, I think, 5'5", doesn't have a thick frame on him. And when you saw him and Diaz in the ring together, you saw that. Diaz is just a thicker dude, a bigger dude. Diaz almost looked like he was in a weight class above him. So I think that really helped him being able to sort of take a lot of those punches. And Nunes hits hard. But Nunes, like I said, in the breakdown, it's not like he's a one-punch guy. Nunes is a sort of will drown you volume. He does have thudding power, but I think some of his shortcomings is that, he's just not a big dude. He's not natural. Some guys are just naturally just bigger for the division. He's not. Horrible weekend and lost my grandma. Oh, goddamn, DJ. I lost my grandma 2 years ago. That literally puts a hamper on my stream. But, love, shout-outs to DJ, man. I went through that 2 years ago. My grandma Jenny passed at 92. Grandmas are the best people in the world, dude. That's what life is all about at grandmas. My grandma Jenny, the best advice she ever gave me, she was like, Johnny, she was like, always take a compliment when somebody gives you one, because you'll never know when you stop. You'll never know when you don't get them anymore, when you become old like me. So, like, that was a good one. And then she always would say, Johnny, when you can, use an elevator. Because she was like, if you have an opportunity to use an elevator, use it. She was like, because one day your legs might be bad like mine and you won't be able to take the stairs. I love my grandma Jenny. Sorry to hear that, DJ. Things can only get better, and I'm sure she left a deep and beautiful impact on your life. DJ Green, that's true. Better your sparring partner doing the fire. The ego is not your amigo. Mate, come on, dude. That's a great t-shirt. I like it. You want a shirt, hoodie, mug? Let's get a shirt, Dwayne. A t-shirt. I'll take you up on that. A t-shirt will be dope. Blue collar, I lost my money on Iglesias decision, McCormick decision, but even out on Nunes over 6.5. Yeah, blue collar. I think me and you were going back and forth in the Discord with that decision. So yeah, I'm hype on that. It evened out too, guys. In like as you're learning the sport, or a lot of you guys are veterans, but if you're in this segment of boxing fans who are just learning the sport and then learning how to bet on it, always remember, never bet what you don't have. Don't bet to get rich. If you find yourself betting and losing and you find yourself pissed off, like really it ruins your day, don't bet. And also, on the big long parlays, let's say your bank rolls $100. Don't take the $100. We're using that as, don't take the $100 and put it on a 12-legger. If anything, take the $100 and put it on like an opportunity to win or lose sort of thing. Less legs, the better in terms of going heavy. That's the way I've always been taught. We got a super chat in the house. Cheers to Daniel Vega with the super chat, my guy. I appreciate you. Thanks for the winning prop bet. Thanks, brother. That goes a long way. Yeah, if you guys ate up the winning prop, I mean, if let's say, we got a W together, however you could support the channel, the super chats are sweet. That's a great way. I appreciate it, Vega. Even just a thumbs up would be cool. Helps, because we all rely on momentum. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody likes to lose. Brawler, fuck Ruffy. Oh, yeah. God damn it, dude. The Brazilians, man, I definitely got that wrong, Brawler. I picked both Brazilians in the UFC. They didn't go my way. I took Bahayo and Ruffy. And Ruffy right now is getting toasted in the Discord. He's getting toasted online. But I got to be honest with you, when he came out flat. He looked flat. Obviously, Benoit Saint Denis pressure, the wrestling, beautiful game plan. His camp obviously saw a path to victory against Ruffy. But there was a moment, I think, either in the beginning of the second round or the end of the first, Ruffy had only probably 20 seconds. He had I think it was the beginning of the second. He had a good 20 seconds span. And that's when you see, when Ruffy's at his best, he kind of looks like Conor McGregor in his prime as a striker. Long, really fluent. The thing about Conor when he was in his prime, though, Conor never hesitated. You never saw Conor second guess his skill set. With Ruffy, that was one of the first times, at least in the UFC, we saw him second guess his skill set. Once you start second guessing your skill set here, it's tough to get back. So he's going to be a guy probably interesting to watch what happens next with him, because once that goes, that sort of, especially when you're, a rhythm striker, somebody who relies so much on momentum, when you start second guessing that, mate, yeah, you get stuck in the mud. We'll get to the dogs in the second. GM, JP Farley, Nunes decision was fight of the year, 100%. Rando, my parlay hit. Josh Babb with the win. Rando, light with the Josh Babb. You guys are insane. No offense to that, but you guys brought it up in the Discord. Josh Babb. Babb fought a guy, Harvey Smith. These boys are like 5-0. They're fighting guys, their record's like 1-73. And I'm like, bro, just because there's action doesn't mean we need a bite. Toxic in the house. Bud looking kind of small. Rest in peace to Grandma. Yeah, man. We all could feel that one, right? Bet what you don't mind missing. Beautiful advice. Way to support your winnings. Heaven sent. It's the calm before the storm again, Johnny. John and Protest won't be losing. Yeah. I'm probably heaven sent. I gotta be honest with you. I'm probably gonna take John Silva and go heavy again, just on that one pick. So versus Diego, I've convinced myself the last few weeks. I really like John to kind of be too much for Diego. Adu, TJ called the red flag on Dickinson coming in overweight. Saved a lot of people on. Yo, TJ sent me a message. I could screenshot the messages. TJ, I was out of town though. Like I said, I was able to read the messages, but you make an agreement. My girl and I was like, look, I'm going to stay away from my phone this whole weekend. So I wasn't active. And as you could tell, I wasn't on the live streams this weekend. But TJ, to give hats off to him, he's an animal. He knows how I value him. He told me in the Discord, he was like, bro, he not only told me about Williamson, he showed me a message that he messaged Troy before the fight. This guy's insane, dude. TJ messaged Troy before the fight and said, hey, bro, watching watching Dickinson's tape, you know, he drops that lead hand. He was like, I think your overhand right will be there for you. And that's exactly the punch that landed. Dude, you got to love Chilltown boxing. I doubt Leon can show us something against Prates. Yeah, Heaven Sent, you never. I don't like doubting. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to sit with the Prates-Edwards fight. I can understand that. Kiza B. Leon is really good. He could make it a hard fight. True. Vicman Vallejo. Valete do Sandiwich. So, guys, we are 20 minutes in. We got to look ahead. Let's look ahead real quick. We'll go to boxing. We're going to stick to our bread and butter. Like I told you, I'm going to be uploading first prediction of the week. I know it's, you know, only Sunday in America, but I got a lot of work to do with the boxing YouTube stuff. So I'm going to be uploading Mabili versus Lester today. Let's look at these odds. Let's start that conversation up right now. Johnny, did you see Waylon get knocked the F out? I know. Henry Williams. Henry, I was telling you boys, don't bet on these obscure Brit cards, mate. Don't. Okay, so what we got, you know, we got Princess fighting too, Olasquaga. That's a fun fight, mate. So my Friday, your Thursday, we got Princess Olasquaga fighting Camacho Rivera. Guys, that's a good fight. I got to be honest with you. Olasquaga is a big favorite, but I think Camacho Rivera could be a live dog. That's all I'm going to say. Ramon Chocolatito's fighting. Olasquaga's fighting. And then let's see what the odds are. There's that Brit card. I don't know if I'm going to touch the Brits this week, boys. You know, you got there is one fight I'm going to touch. Ishmael Davis versus Aguiarco. That's a fun fight. Guys, put an asterisk. Put a bookmark by this fight. Ishmael Davis versus Carmen Aguiarco. The odds are pretty much, I think it's a 50-50 fight. Right now they have Davis as the slight favorite at $1.58. Aguiarco's $2.55. This is a really good fight, boys. And so I'm gonna break down this week. You're gonna get a Stats Don't Lie video and prediction on Ishmael Davis versus Aguiarco, Lewis Crocker versus Patty Donovan firefight. I'm doing the Raiko Santana versus Steven Nelson fight. I want to get to Ditchko versus Franklin. That's a good fight no one's talking about, boys. Ditchko Franklin's a good fight. Boacek Brandon Adams, great fight. Callum Walsh Vargas, Mabili Lester, and Bud Canelo. That's 8. But then we got Inoue too. We got Takai fight. Dude, Takai versus Jimenez, mate. I think Takai might be on upset alert. Yoshiki Takai is fighting Christian Medina Jimenez. I think he might be on upset alert, mate. And then MJ versus Inoue. So I gotta get a lot of content out. I gotta get a lot of content out. Heaven Sent, that Tom Whalen guy cried after getting knocked out. You could hear it, even very sad. Maxim was also crying, but yeah. Crispy Chris, man, I saw that you hit in the Discord. Let's go. Canelo fight week. Give us your picks off the head. I like Ishmael in that fight. Yeah, so we'll go. Let's do a dry run together, boys. I'll do a dry run of who do I like. Hit the thumbs up though, guys. It's we're almost going on 30 minutes here. We got 9 people liking it, like I always say. That's kind of depressing. All right, so here. This is just off jump. This is nothing official yet, but here's who I like off jump on the money line of those 10 fights. Don't get all twisted if you hear some shit you might not agree with yet, because nothing is official until I go Stats Don't Lie with it, all right? All right, so let's add it up. Mate, I got to do the tape on Olasquaga versus Camacho Rivera, but like I remember watching Camacho Rivera and I like Olasquaga. But right now, I'm gonna take Princess. That's his nickname, by the way. I'm gonna take Princess on the money line. I'm not betting Tyron McKenna fight. All right, I'm gonna take Ishmael Davis on the money line. This is just a rough draft. I'm gonna take Patty Donovan. I'm going upset alert. I like Raiko Santana to beat Steven Nelson. Right, that's not official. Ditchko versus Franklin. I'm going to take Ditchko right now to beat Franklin. Boacek versus Adams. Right now, dude. I'm taking Adams. I'm taking Adams to upset Boacek right now. Callum Walsh versus Vargas. Look, this isn't supposed to sound it's really hard for me to bet against. Look, I was a big fan of Fernando Vargas Sr. I was, man. I like how he operated. I mean, he was my generation. He just burst on the scene so young. I'm going to take Callum Walsh, but I think this is a close fight. Mabili versus Lester. I'm taking Mabili. Nothing's official yet. Canelo versus Bud. Right now, I'm going to take Bud. What I'm going to do with Bud and Canelo, I'm going to Kai versus him and then Inoue. Okay, so that is off. Let's say hypothetically, it's 140 to 1. So let's say, without any film study, just off the top, those 10 fighters on the money line, 100 gets you 44,000. $100 gets you 44,000. That's how crazy those picks are. But I'll get to those. I'll give you guys my exact predictions this week. In Kiza Inoue decision where the money is. Yeah, so Kiza, the last few fights with Inoue, I've been landing knockdown props. So the prop that I'm already looking at is let's look, Naoya Inoue versus MJ. The props probably aren't out yet. Drop. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Oh, they did drop. So right now the props are out. No, the knockdown props aren't up. So what I'm gonna do for Inoue versus MJ is I'm gonna wait for the knockdown prop bet. So I hit a 16 to 1 when Inoue fought Cardenas. I picked Inoue to get dropped at 16 to 1. Oh, just the way he loves a firefight, how he tends to drop, his right hand when he's punching. MJ is a guy who's he's gonna punch with you. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see another knockdown. And what is Inoue now? 34. I like MJ's pressure. The decision though, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. The decision's a tough one because both guys are going to go after it. I don't know yet. So what I'm looking for in that fight is a knockdown prop. That's what I'm going to look for. We'll see if we get it. Some of the boys. What's Heaven Sense saying? Heaven Sense says I predict that Carmel Moten will be on the tank versus Jake Paul or Floyd versus Tyson card fighting somewhat tough. Floyd called out Roach, so not surprised if Carmel fights a tough fighter. We'll see. I wouldn't rush Carmel yet. He's still a teenager. Yeah, Princess is his nickname. Kiza, it's 5 to 1 for MJ knockdown on Bet365. All right, Kiza, what is Bet365 giving you for like an over 1.5? An over 1.5. And this is why, like, if you guys have never seen Naoya Inoue fight, tune in. Because he's not going to be around forever. This dude is instant action. He'll make every fight look be exciting. And that's kind of, if somebody had to say a knock on him, is sometimes he goes about his business a little bit. He makes his life sometimes a little bit tough, but that's just who he is. Front foot, action packed, punching in the pocket, punching with you. So much belief in his chin, so much belief in his durability. He's a guy who's been dropped, able to come back and win by stoppage. Dude, he ticks all the boxes for me in terms of a boxer that you want to cheer for, a boxer that every time he fights, I'm tuning in. Inoue's in that category. Every time he fights, I'm tuning in. Virgil Ortiz, every time he fights, I'm tuning in. Who else? Some of the guys a little lesser known, similar to that are just firefighters. But yeah, just off the cusp, I put Inoue in that category. I don't think it's shocking. The true boxing fans know about him. We've been watching him for a long time, and he's not going to be around forever. I think he's 34. What's his princess name? Alasquaga. If you guys remember the video that went viral a couple years ago with Bud Crawford hitting the punch bag machine against that other boxer, that was Alasquaga. 120 over. Okay, 120 over. See, Kiza? I mean, that's saucy right there. Kiza B said over 1.5 knockdowns, you get plus 120. We're already in the plus money. Yeah, I don't hate that. I actually like that a lot. I like that a lot. Adu, anyone dissing the Canelo Crawford? Yeah, the Canelo Crawford undercard got some bangers, boys. Brandon in the house. What's up, Johnny? What's up, chat? Brandon, welcome, big fella. Guys, it's our first live stream of the day. We're 30 minutes in. I'm going to go for another 30. If you're just tuning in now, I gave you guys a rundown of what to expect. We're back to normal with the live streams. I'm going to be live twice a day, every day until the weekend. I'm giving you guys 10 Stats Don't Lie videos. So, I only got to 2 of them last week. I only did the Iglesias and the Sugar Nunez fight for stats, but there's so many fights I'm breaking down. And tonight I'm releasing Lester versus Mbili, but there's so many other fights we got to talk about. Didn't know he was 32. Inoue points is coming in. Johnny, you're right. Never bet on random British cards. Tom Whalen just got iced by Cole by Janner. Henry Williams, man, you got to join our Discord, bro. I was telling the boys, Henry, in our Discord, because last night the boys finished on a high because half of us, my half, we picked Sugar by decision and we picked the over. Some of the other boys listened to other channels and you guys picked Sugar by knockout. But look, we can't get them all right? But the half that, in the Discord that were on my side with the decision and the over, people started getting greedy. And they're like, boys, man, who got action on this British card? They're, the box recs of some of these fighters are 5-0. Their opponents are 1-73. I'm like, boys, stop, dude. No, cash out the winnings. We got a big week ahead. Don't chase. And some of the boys are like, nope. Who's gonna win? Tom Whalen. I'm about to go heavy on Tom Whalen. And I'm like, you guys are insane. So I went to bed and just woke up and saw that weren't there a couple upsets on that card? It wasn't just Whalen. Didn't another favorite lose? But yeah, Y'allcast is wild. DJ Green, yeah, Whalen literally almost died. I gotta watch it. I didn't watch it. Damn, it was sad. So it wasn't just a knockout. It was like emotional, DJ. Like, what made it emotional? Adu, any pre-fight live streams? Like, yeah. So Adu, we're doing I'm going live with Gary and Muscles this week. I'm going live with TJ from Chilltown. We're doing another live, me, Gary, Muscles, and Tommy Ranone from Tommy and Paulie. And I'm pretty sure I'm teeing up Paulie Malignaggi too. So stay tuned. There's a lot of action this week. Make sure you guys hit the notification button. A lot of you boys already do. A lot of you boys are already in the Discord as well. PJ, it was 3 upsets on that card. DJ Green, Bab upset Smith. I actually had Bab winning. There you go. Yeah, people was crying. Damn, they were crying. It was that, like, did he get, what do you mean, like, crying because it was like he might not live, or crying because it was like his opportunity to take the next step in his career and he got out and he got stopped? Were these tears out of like fear of injury, or were they like more like tears of discretion? Kiza, auto bet the Mexicans versus Kiza, we've been on that for a while, right? The Mexican versus the UK thing goes all the way back to Josh Warrington. I'm sure we could find one before Josh Warrington, but wasn't it who came in against Josh Warrington? Why do I always think it's Mora? I don't think his last name was Mora. This would have been during the pandemic, and I'm sure there were more instances before that. But yeah, you see it. It's becoming a pattern of behavior. Obviously, as of late, Frankie Rod versus Galal, even though that has an asterisk by it. Oh, he laid there for 3 minutes. Oh, God. It was that bad? Like, unconscious? Did they have to shake his legs and everything? Whole crowd was crying? What? I'm not laughing. The whole crowd was crying, including the announcers and the janitor's opponent who knocked him out. Okay, I'm sure it's gonna go viral. I'm sure old Joe Stunner Boxing has it. Shout out to Joe Stunner. Me and him were going back and forth online. He was saying that this is another one we hit, boys. How we forgot about this. The UK main event. Damn, we bet so much. This weekend was so busy. Joe Stunner and I were going back and forth on resulted. he thought that Old Mate was gonna go in and beat. Damn, my mind is mush. I can't even remember. Either way, what fight was it? Oh yeah, I hit on the Solomon Sagawa fight. I hit big on Suleiman Sagawa. Marksby. I forgot I hit on this card. And then the boys in the Discord were salty because I hit a 3-leg NFL parlay at 12-1. I picked the Chargers on the money line against the Chiefs, the over, and I picked Keenan Allen to score. Now, guys, I'm away, right? I wanted to mention this. I want to bring this up because I found this was pretty funny, actually. So this weekend I'm away, right? I typed that in the Discord. I typed that on Friday. Hey, I'm going to be away. I'm not doing any live streams. So I put a little action on Kansas City to lose against the Chargers, and I told you the 3-leg. It paid 11-1, and I posted that in the parlays after, and some of the dudes were like, "Oh, Johnny, I didn't see this parlay. What? You're not giving away all of your picks in a paid Discord group? What the hell?" I'm like, "What the?" So I'm thinking like, "Damn, dude, so your expectations of me, because you're in the Discord, is that no matter where I am in life, every single bet I make, you control me, and I have to show you every single bet." That's insane to me, by the way. I thought about that, and I kind of was like, how do I respond to this? Because it was in the Discord, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, and maybe it's you, maybe you're listening to this, but I was just kind of like, it was kind of one of those moments because I've only started the Discord 2 months ago, and it's all new to me. So I was like, all right, this is one of those moments where I have to, I'm going to have to address these sort of things. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, so this person is insinuating that he joined the Discord to get every time he wants access to my betting app. Then I have to give him access to my betting app so he could see everything that I do. And I'm thinking like, so all I responded was, I just put, "That's an insane comment." That's all I did. And then he didn't respond, but I was just kind of shocked. I was like, so I can't even get a sneaky last second 11th hour parlay without showing you. And then if I hit, I can't show you. It was insane. Laura, that was it. Laura knocked out Wood, Lee Wood, that was it. Lee used to knock Mauricio, I remember. Wasn't it? Was it Mauricio Laura who beat Wood? I thought Mauricio Laura beat. Who beat? Maybe it was. I'm thinking of Warrington, but you're right. Laura, yeah, you guys are right. Then Wood won the rematch on points. Okay, that was the fight I think I was talking about. Pro Box Car got my weekend off to a dismal start. Valenzuela knocking out Cardo. That was crazy. Valenzuela knocking out Cardosa at the death. Yeah, last second. I didn't bet on that fight. Kiza. Okay, that's the one I was talking about. Lara beat Warrington. So go before the Lee Wood fight, right? I'm pretty sure Lara beat Warrington before the Lee Wood fight. That was the one I was talking, and that's when I was like, oh shit. I think that's for some reason, Kiza, where my pattern recognition started paying attention to the Mexicans in the UK is when Lara beat Warrington. Bashed him up. You made breakfast and didn't spoon feed him. Yeah, that's what was going on, boxing man. I was like, do I have to give them? I have to give you access to my phone? Mexicans have great records versus British fighters. Rice and beans versus fish and chips. DJ, he said he won that Johnny betting. And then he was trying. Yeah, it was a weird DJ. His intentions were weird. That's where I was confused. Like his intentions. I was like, what is he doing here? Yeah, Johnny saw that. We need to know all your picks and what you do and everything. I know. It kind of turns into, have you seen that Jim Carrey movie, The Truman Show? Dwayne Styles. No, Dwayne Styles, give me a, I think American sizes are bigger, right? Give me a large or a medium. They fought twice. Lara had a crazy hook knockout, and then they fought months later with Lara missing weight and Wood winning by decision. Boxing fan. People don't like do their own research on fights. They're depending on you. Yeah, I get it, PJ. And this is another thing, PJ, that you bring up. It's a good point. I give you guys all my boxing picks. This is a boxing show. The parlay I posted was an NFL parlay, which I'm never going to do a stats. Like I told the boys, the only reason we have a college football and NFL channel is because you guys asked for it. So I look at that channel actually as yours. This is another thing, guys, if you're in the Discord. I don't like, obviously I run the Discord and we're building it from scratch from this channel, but you guys don't have to know me personally to understand that I don't have an ego in anything. So I look at the whole thing as like all of ours. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that because there's a kid in the NFL, there's a guy in the NFL and college football chat that I asked for picks. I messaged him. I was like, hey bro, give me your 2 money line picks for today. Nick, he goes by Breaking Bad Boxing. So nobody is above asking for help, but the idea that, you're gonna try to gatekeep me in terms of like my movements and how I act in the Discord without me, that's not gonna happen. Large shirt it is, my man. Dwayne Styles, I appreciate you. Mike Ross cleaned up on that McCormick stompage. People were calling me crazy for hyping up Pat. No, you did. You were saying it. Pat McCormick. I stayed away from that fight. Adu, Pat McCormick got one up for the Brits over the Mexicans. Impressive display. He looked good. He looked good. A couple of the boys in the Discord were saying McCormick was the real deal. Breaking Bad helped me with that Pat pick. There you go. Nice. Randall Light, Johnny gives us picks, but it's your job to do your own tape study. I notice when I lose, it's because I didn't do my... Yeah, what's happening, Randall Light, and the guys in the Discord could attest to this, and on the live stream, is that what's happening over time is we're all working together. You know what I mean? And that's how it should be. I'm sure there's channels out there who the host is going to sit on a throne and say that I know everything, I'm the master, I'm the best, I give you all the greatest info for you, and you listen to me. That's not how I do. I'm a teacher, so like I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a writer, I'm an author, all the other things I do other than this. And the way I go about this is the way I go about all the aforementioned titles. So when I coach, I'm not a whistleblower. I'm not the guy who's coaching a strength athlete. Come on, you could do better. When I coach strength athletes, I'm training with them. So like for instance, I have an 8 a.m. powerlifting client downstairs in my gym. We're powerlifting together. Obviously, I've taught him my clients have been with me forever. So this client, Luke, he's been with me since 2016. I used to run a gym in the city. During the pandemic, the city closed, so I brought all my clients to my house. Now it's an invite only. It's not open to the public. But so when my clients have been with me for so long, technically they're sound. I'm not gonna sit and watch them. We're training together. So that's the same approach I take with the Discord. We're doing this together, mate. You know what I'm saying? So if you're relying on me for something, ask me. But sometimes I might rely on you for something. I'm gonna ask you as well. Dude, there's guys, Blue Collar's still in the live stream. Crispy Chris, if he's still in the live stream. Goat, the list goes on and on. These are just names that probably I remember them because they're memorable names in the Discord. These guys always hit. Randall Light, the list goes on and on. You could just look at the Discord of the parlays, all the boys picking, showing their wins. The thing about it is the difference is you guys get to see my losses. You know what I mean? because I tell you who I'm going to pick. And so when I lose, you guys know. That's the only difference because when, some of the big dogs, I'm not going to say any names, but think about the professional gamblers we have in our Discord. There's a few of them. Like I'm talking real heavy hitters. You never see their losses. You know what I mean? You never see their loss. And all I'm saying is I don't want to see their losses. Psychologically, you guys see mine. So just remember that. Don't lose sight of that as well, because that in itself shows you that I'm not coming about this. I'm not telling you I'm an expert. I'm telling you that I'm a diehard of the sport, and I'm a sort of, I don't want to say, what's a better word for nerd? I'm a student in the game. That's all I'm going to say. The dude kicked both. Oh, you're talking about Heaven Sent. You're talking about the kid. He has a brother. There's two of them who fight in Cage Warriors. Warwick, or I think Hardwick. The Hardwick brothers. I think the Hardwick brother who got brought up to get his legs kicked off. I think the other one was better. Did you see the UFC? Yeah, George, I watched all of them. I watched the UFC fights on my phone. I shamefully hyped up Saul Pov. It's all good, Mike. I mean, Mike, who saw that coming? Come on. Pattern recognition. Tony hadn't won a fight since I think 2020. Heaven Sent, don't take every loss to heart and don't keep every. And so Heaven Sent, this time of the live stream, we get a little bit deep, right? So Heaven Sent says, don't take every loss to heart and don't keep every win in your head. Now, yesterday in Australia was Father's Day. I don't know if it's Father's Day everywhere, but one of my favorite poems is a poem called If, and it's by a famous writer named Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling is the man who wrote The Jungle Book. He wrote a bunch of stuff, but my favorite Rudyard Kipling work is a poem he wrote called If, and to Heaven Sent's context, don't take every loss to heart, don't keep everyone in your head. In the poem If, the whole premise of that is to not get too high, not get too low. When you're around, don't worship people, but don't sort of detest people under you. Don't pray to kings, and don't throw homeless people away, sort of thing. It's called If. It's a great poem, but it's kind of like keep your head level no matter what. George, do you think Imamov and Bahayo beat Prime GSP in a hypothetical matchup? No, I don't. I gotta be honest with you. I'm just an old head, George. I've watched. I could go even before George. The welterweight division was always one of my favorite divisions. George is the guy Matt Hughes. I think Matt Hughes in his prime, I would take over Imamov and Bahayo. But for how much sort of I don't like French MMA, even though Imamov isn't. He represents France. Nasruddin Imamov has turned me into a fan. I'm just the type of dude, my personality, it takes a little while for me to kind of like become sort of like sold on a fighter, on an athlete. Imamov yesterday, his timing, his speed, his pressure, how he was able to just keep Bahayo where he wanted to the entire fight, his takedown defense, just his backhand, everything. He's really... Oh, they fought at 185. You said, did Imamov and Bahayo beat Prime GSP? Well, GSP fights at welterweight. GSP is a traditional 170, or Imamov and Bahayo fight at 185. So those guys wouldn't fight. If you're talking about Imamov and Bahayo at 185, you would then to who are some of the best middleweights of all time? I mean, GSP came out of retirement to beat Bisping at middleweight, but he wasn't a middleweight. He wasn't a 185er. He was a 170. But some of the best 185ers, like Anderson Silva, I'd probably say Anderson in his prime. I would take Silva over Imamov or Bahayo, if that's a better probably comparison. I think Anderson's the best middleweight of all time. Kiza, is the Canelo fight going to be the same time as the UFC? I don't think so, Kiza. I think that, let's check. Because right now, and it's on Netflix, boys. That's another thing. The Crawford-Canelo card is on Netflix, so I'm getting... Crawford and Canelo is fighting at 2 p.m. That's what it says on my book. Crawford and Canelo fighting at 2 p.m. This is in Australia. Crawford-Canelo is fighting at 2 p.m. on Sunday in Australia. And the main event... Diego Lopez and John Silva is fighting at 10 a.m. So to answer your question, the UFC will be ending the main event, Diego versus John. It starts at 10, so there's a gap. So it's a good question. We got our answers. Guys, Rob Font. The big fella's fighting. I've been telling people, TriStar Rob Font, Farasa Hobby Rob Font, different animal. It's good to see the old fella. Rob Font's a guy, Boston, the New England Cartel, Kelvin Cater, those guys. Rob Font's boxing's always some of my favorite. Everybody asks me, who's your favorite boxing in MMA and UFC? Obviously, I always, talk about Josh Van's boxing, Adrian Yanez's boxing, Ilya Tapora's boxing, Jack Della Maddalena's boxing. But Rob Font's boxing is high level. You don't see many guys catch and shooting in the pocket. You don't see many guys, um, you know, in the cage catching and shooting. And so Rob Font's whole downside, up until his move from the cartel up to Montreal was like his wrestling, especially getting off the mat, takedown defense, getting off the mat, and then his last few fights, mate. It's been well documented. He's left. He's still with the cartel, but he's been doing his camps with Faraz up in Montreal, TriStar. You could see a massive change in his game. And I think Rob is now, 37, 38, now or never. He had some main events a couple years ago. And then we know the UFC, when those main events don't go your way, you go from a main event fighter. And then they say you can predict if a guy's going to get cut based on performance. You could predict where they appear on the card. And so you'd see like a lot of guys who get older, who went from main event guys, they start dropping, and then all of a sudden you see them on the prelims. It's really tough to then work your way back up to get to the main event. And you got Rob Font here co-maining. So you figure Rob Font going against the tough David Martinez, goes in and the co-main, looks great, gets maybe a stoppage victory. We might see Font once again fighting for at least maybe a main event spot. So good, kudos to him, man. He's been putting in the work. John, did you like history? Oh, I love history, Vic. I'm kind of a nerd, guys. I read books, I write books. My favorite, classes growing up were history and English. I love writing. I've always liked writing essays. History and English, probably my two favorite. In college, specializing cultural anthropology, so studying how civilizations, groups of people, how they subsist their subsistence. Some of my favorite classes. My undergrad's in psychology, so how the mind works, nonverbal communication, sports psych was what I specialized in. Johnny Crawford looks in insane shape. Yeah, Jazz 11. What's up, buddy? It's gonna be a fun fight. Come on, guys. We're about to see Crawford versus Canelo. Let's go, dude. Let's go. I can't wait. September 9th, grand arrivals. Heaven sent with the calendar. Appreciate you. That guy fighting Font is good. No, he is. David Martinez is good. Might be too early for him, though. Yeah, it's a good matchup. Rob Font, man. He's a pro's pro. Do you think Canelo will go the distance? I like the over here, PJ. I like the over. Over 8.5. PJ, we've never seen, neither guy has been dropped, neither guy has been stopped. Bud's never lost. Canelo's only losses, we know, Floyd and Bivol. What is Canelo now? 62-2 two draws. It's insane though. Come on, the Triple G, especially the first fight. My biggest salt right now over Canelo's era was that Triple G fights Canelo 3 times and doesn't come away with 1 win. Let's go. Come on, dude. That first fight, I don't think, even when you watch, guys, don't watch this fight as film study, but watch it as entertainment. Watch Arislandi Lara versus Canelo and let me know what you think about that fight. Font has the best jab in MMA. Yeah, Font's nice. And why his jab is so good in boxing, because in MMA, they wear the 4 ounces, and he doesn't really have to extend on it. He kind of like that, and he's still getting the full brunt of the fist. Who you got? Ryan Hong off jump without film study. I'm leaning towards Dichko. Johnny, I love seeing black and white young fighters back in the young days. Looks so cool. Yeah, Vic, man, if you want an old school fighter that maybe you haven't heard of, my favorite, like golden era fighter, Henry Armstrong, Homicide Hank. Guy won world titles from 35 to, I think, heavyweight. Insane. And it's my favorite boxing nickname ever. Henry Armstrong, Homicide Hank. You could still find footage of him online. Style ridiculous, dude. Savage. Lester Martinez versus Mbili will hype. Yep. Heaven sent. I like I'm leaning towards Christian in that fight. I got to be honest with you. Heaven sent. By the way, you weren't wrong when you said Shishkin got a chin. I would love to see him fight again after improving. Also, yeah, him against McCumbee or a contender. You know what? That's a good point. I wouldn't mind seeing that. McCumbee. But, McCumbee, he's coming off 2 L's now, right? He lost to Plant, lost to Diego. What are we going to do with Diego, dude? Let's go. And does Pacheco have a fight? Lara was running. Watch it again. I thought I wouldn't say Lara was running. That jab. I'm late. Hand history vault. Johnny, you had a good weekend. Yeah, brother, history vault. We had a good weekend. History vault. Everything came to fruition with Sugar Nunez. So, that's the one fight I went really heavy on. It always sucks to miss one on a parlay. I missed one on my college football parlay. I missed 2 on my boxing long parlay. But where I went heavy on, I hit Sugar Nunez by decision at plus 800. Let's go. And I hit the over at 6.5. Let's go. 2 separate tickets. Would you guys bet on Bud versus Canelo after the Mabili fight? Heaven sent. Join our Discord, mate, because we live bet. I think a lot of the money is made. What I'm learning over the last month in the Discord, Heaven sent, is live betting, meaning that when the fights are on, and this is what I didn't know. This is what I didn't know about live betting. One of the biggest values so far, other than joining the community in the Discord, is that when the fights are on, you could look at the Discord and there'll be like 70 people in there telling, who to live bet on. And a couple of the live bets this weekend hit, and I saw all the boys. I didn't jump on any of them because I was away, but that's where I'm learning there's value is during the fights. If you're in the Discord, guys, and you didn't know this, download the Discord app if you're already in the Discord, if you haven't already. I mean, some of you guys are Johnny Says Boxing Insiders on YouTube, I think, and didn't download the Discord app. But during the fights yesterday, Sugar, you could see our Discord has a live chat, and then the boys are updating the live odds. And then the boys are like, all right, let's take this. I can see this happening. So people are winning. You could win a lot of money live betting, and paying attention to the Discord chat is how you do it. I had Lara Alba. Okay, DJ. See, so did I. There's an argument that Lara beat Canelo. Iglesias versus Pacheco. I'm here for it. TJ, Chilltown in the house. Yo, what's up, fellas? Happy Sunday. Chilltown, I brought you up earlier, mate. If you're still listening, man. Everybody in the Discord, TJ, knows that you called the Troy fight. But what they don't know is that you called the punch, mate. I saw, and I didn't share this anywhere. I didn't share the photos or nothing. But Chilltown not only called, the Troy Williamson, he messaged Troy before the fight and called and told Troy to pay attention for the guard to drop and how, he's talking to Troy here. You'll have an opportunity to land your backhand. And I think he might have said late. And that, dude, TJ, you're a wizard, mate. You're a savant. Hey, we're doing lives this week, bro. So Chilltown, I saw you you messaged me. There's 2 messages I have to answer in the Discord. I'll get to you today. But yeah, we're definitely live streaming this week. We're definitely breaking Canelo Bud down. There's so many fights this week, boys. Starting with Olasquaga. I think there's some upsets to be spoken about as well. He looks good, man, Johnny. You're right. Hank is so good. Yeah, Homicide Hank. Patty McCormick over Barrios and Raleigh. Patty McCormick over Barrios and Raleigh. Interesting. It's Patty over Raleigh. Man, I like Raleigh. I'm not saying he'd win, but he's one of my favorites. I'd have to see more. I have to see more of Patty. People are high on Patty right now. Yeah, man. TJ knows Raleigh to go, but Pat punches him up. Yeah, Raleigh's my guy, TJ. I can't believe this money I'll look into joining. Yeah, it's only a couple bucks, Heaven sent. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's only a couple bucks. The link's pinned here. Get in there for a month. If you like it, stay. If not, you don't have to stay. I need that Discord link. PJ, it's pinned in the comment section, boys. Welcome, TJ, buddy. Big love, chat. Lester Martinez and Mobility. Right now, boys, I got to end this. We're approaching an hour. I got a client here in 30 minutes. Stay tuned to the channel. This week, I'm doing 2 lives a day. I'm going to be going live with some of the boys as well. I have 10 Stats Don't Lie videos. I'm breaking down with my prediction. I'm uploading Lester versus Mabili today. It's already edited. You're going to get my prediction in that fight. If you haven't already, Hit the bell notification button so you never miss a video. Like this video, subscribe, and join the Discord, and I'll be seeing you boys all week. Let's get this money.